I made a mistake supporting President Buhari in 2015, ex-President Obasanjo says. The former president of the country, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, has disclosed that he made a mistake supporting the presidential ambition of the incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari, in 2015, expressing regrets for his actions back then. Former President Obasanjo made this disclosure during a chat with the blogger Ifedayo Agoro, who he met on a plane, Legit NG reported. Agoro reportedly shared the details of their one-on-one conversation via her official Twitter account, revealing that she met the former president recently and sat beside him on the plane. According to her, former president Obasanjo said, "I made a mistake supporting Buhari. He knew nothing about the economy. We thought he would fight corruption and insecurity, then hire people who know about economy and infrastructure. Big mistake." Furthermore, the former president also accused Nigerian youths of not having a commonality of purpose to fight the old guard in politics. He made it known that until the Nigerian youth show the determination to change the political leadership in the country, nothing will change. Based on what former President Olusegun Obasanjo said about the Nigerian youth, I really think that the time is right for Nigerians to take back their country and made away with tribal politics so as to move Nigeria forward. Okay, it's funny because I actually saw this exact post by Ifedayo Agoro, and her official name, I saw it on Instagram, is Diary of a Niger Girl, and obviously you should go look at it. She puts the whole the conversation that she had with him, well, the former president. First, from what I know, I don't think Buhari was as drilled to be someone who we can say we trust knew about the economy. If you're going to compare what we know about him and what we know about Peter Obi, in terms of him having businesses, in terms of being a governor, in terms of him literally being an economist when he explains economic theories, or if anything, logical, basic economic theories, like it just makes sense. And so, yes, they can use all these words and we can still fall for it, but I don't think Buhari was as drilled for us to say, oh, this man definitely knows about the economy and we can trust him to fix the country. I don't think so. I think at the time, I believe that a lot of Nigerians wanted PDP out by all means. I mean, it was very intense. And of course, the APC was, pretty much, you can say, very brutal and very direct and cutthroat when it came to removing the PDP. And of course, Nigerians really wanted, obviously we're tired of Jonathan's government. And then with Buhari, people just had the idea or assumed to a very large extent that, okay, in order to fix corruption and for someone who'd been military head of state at the time, we expected a certain harshness, which you can see accountability and integrity, that, if somebody could have ruled at that time, having the harshness and the integrity to be strict and impenetrable, or this person cannot be easily compromised. That's what I'm trying to use to explain. So I think the idea really was that when it came to Buhari, and that was really the main thing, because we cannot say that we had any other main option or challenging option like we do today with Peter Obi. So yeah, of course it is a mistake. I think, to be honest, everybody regretted 2015, and I think we should give ourselves grace for that, because yes, you can have the right intentions and things can go very wrong. But then 2019 is no excuse. There is no excuse, because 2019 was just us deciding, let's just add 4 more years to our suffering. At the end of the day, we didn't stand up to it at the time. And I think 2020 also showed that it's not about you just sitting down and accepting what is there or accepting how things are. Because again, with NSAS protest, we showed that we can also challenge what is there or what the government is doing. But then we also have to think the NSAS protest came as a result of years and years of frustration with higher intensity closer to 2020 that really got people out there in the streets. So I think we do have a habit of waiting for too long before we react, because really a lot of BS, you can really say, has been normalized. And if you're going to blame the youth for not having a commonality, well, who did they really learn from? Because the youth don't just people just don't behave, just come out of the woman, and your society and your environment makes you. So if you're going to talk to an 18-year-old Nigerian who's grown up 18 years in Nigeria, and you look at their behavioral patterns, you can't, and now you're talking about a whole demographic and say, oh, act this way, when those that were meant to raise them acted the same way that again, the commonality of anything, I feel like really is just excuses, because the government has shown us that it can't hold itself accountable within itself and within its structure as a constitution. So really, Nigerians have now learned we need to have a power outside of the constitution and the government to hold these individuals accountable. So talking about how the youth fail with the commonality, really, you have to understand, you standing up to the government, I think it's just bigger than you going out there. We are breaking a thinking pattern. We're breaking a certain type of mentality to just accept what is not and accept mediocrity, especially as it gets to leadership level. So really, what the youths are doing, we're literally breaking, generational cycles of just accepting nonsense. Because since independence, it's been how many years? Well over 40, 50, 60 years, and nothing has changed. In fact, we are retrogressing. So really, things were going bad and we were accepting it. So the question is, how bad do things really have to go for you to step up your game and be like, okay, we need to change things now? So talking about the commonality of the youth coming together, I feel like 2020 proved that. And what did the government, how did they react to the Nigerians, to the Nigerian youths stepping up and calling the government out, wanting to hold them accountable? They were shot. It was a massacre. So now Nigerians are like, you know what? Well, if it's going to cost us our lives, because really, that's literally the only option to get them to listen. Well, they've shown that they can be united and they can make any movement move forward. And also, the youth. I think there's so much pressure. I feel like there's just so much unnecessary pressure. Because when you say the youth are the ones to change everything, because really, when you talk about, Obasanjo talking about the commonality of, the youth lacking that commonality to come together and do something, really what you're saying, it also ties into the narrative of, the youth are the ones to change tomorrow. But who is training them to give them the capacity and equip them for the tomorrow? It's not the youth themselves. They do have to be trained. So I think, again, what you're asking the youth is to start from scratch, because as a society, you need to have the agreement of the old and the young come together. The old have a system in place. The young are integrated and trained to be in that system and make it better. But now we are integrated into a system that has been failed from the beginning. So what you're really asking the youth to do is start afresh, because that's what it is. And I think everything all stems from the pressure on the youth to be the one to change things, because really, you're talking about the youth. You're talking about those. We can't even trust anybody in government. We can't even trust people with degrees and those that are professors, because again, you have been in politics. You are a strategist, but of course, you've been a corrupt strategist, openly, blatantly. Yes, it's competition, but there has been no standards. There's literally been no standards for anything. And as a culture, and how we as a people. And again, more importantly, not just you shouting up and down. We have to really understand that for things to really change, it starts with the mind. It is the mindset. So it's more than just calling the youth and saying, it's a social media movement, or they lack a commonality. We have to actively denounce a thinking pattern of accepting nonsense and mediocrity in every aspect of our lives. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.